Thanks for checking out the previous video. Now we're going to take some time to talk a little bit about the role of check-in and of course the goals that come along with it. Now check-in is really important because it really is our first impression for anybody that comes through the door, whether it's their first time coming or their 100th time coming. The first thing that they're going to see is you. So no pressure on that, but it's of course an opportunity for us to be able to catch all the information of each student so we can follow up with them, as well as find out who has been and hasn't been coming so that we can make the proper follow-ups so that we don't lose any students. So check-in is a really important role, and we ask the leader of check-in to be there by 6 p.m., just like any leader would be for an average or regular Wednesday night service. Now, there are a lot of things to do in preparation for check-in, which we'll get to in a moment, but I want to share with you 3 words that I feel encompass and are important to the role of the person involved in check-in. The first one is hello. To make sure that you say hi to anybody that catches your eye or you catch their eye. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but we want to make sure that we're creating a warm and welcoming environment for every student that walks in through the building. So the first thing you do is you say hello. The next thing you do is to make sure that you're being helpful. It's making sure that you are helping any student who maybe isn't familiar with our check-in process, doesn't have all their information updated, and making sure that you're guiding them along that path to getting them completely set up so that the next time they come in, it's a real easy and simple process. So I believe if we help them the first time, it allows every time after that to become simpler and simpler. And then the last one is to make sure that you hand out anything that we would have that's special regarding events, different things that we're doing, communications about Wednesday nights, and any of the above, as well as just talking up our events and all the things that we're doing. We want to create a process that's smooth, and it creates great transitions, and it starts with you. So now we're going to take some time to talk a little bit about what you do before check-in actually happens, and how to make that a successful and sufficient time during and before our services. Check out this video. Hey everyone, so now that you've seen the video about the roles and goals of check-in, let me tell you a little bit about how to set check-in up. So when you walk in through the hallway towards the youth center, you'll see a black legacy box that is posted up against the wall to the stairs leading up to the youth center. What you're going to do is you're going to carefully grab that box and either lift it up with the help of someone else, or you can drag it, but make sure that you drag it carefully because it is a little bit fragile. You'll also want to make sure that the iPad is completely locked into the iPad kiosk, and if you need the keys, they'll be sitting on the black legacy box for you to be able to do so. Also make sure that the legacy iPad is fully charged and ready to go, and once you do that, you can click on Safari and start the check-in process for Planning Center. After that's done, you'll see that there's also a retractable pop-up display banner. You'll want to make sure to grab that as well. Put that to a little bit to the right of the legacy box if you're standing behind it. Set it up, lift it up, get it all set up and ready to go, but make sure that it's not blocking the door so much so that students aren't able to get around it and in and up the stairs to the youth center, because that would really ultimately defeat the purpose. You also want to make sure that anything that needs to be plugged in or could be plugged in for that night of service is set up and ready to go and turned on. You'll notice things like a little TV that has our legacy logo on it. You'll want that sitting on the box and plugged in to an outlet somewhere to allow you to be able to provide power to that TV, as well as people who are going to be able to hold signs. I would enlist students to grab these signs and hold them and be excited about what's happening during service. And if you're excited, they'll be equally as excited, if not more. For the check-in process, you'll stay downstairs from about 6 p.m. when you get there to 7 p.m. when we take the last 15 minutes between service starting and the end of our check-in process to get everybody squared away and set up. At 7 p.m. you can head upstairs and enjoy the rest of your night, spending time investing in students, hanging out, and just ultimately having fun. Once you've completed the check-in process at 7 p.m., you can go ahead and reverse the process of what you did to set up check-in. Grab the black box, move it up against the wall, take anything that was plugged in and unplug it and power everything off, as well as taking down the retractable banner and setting it back up against the wall. If you wouldn't mind, you can take the iPad and move it into my office so that nothing happens to it, and go ahead, head upstairs, and enjoy the rest of your evening at Legacy. Now that we've finished the process and the discussion of what check-in looks like, why don't you jump into the next role with us as we discuss how to resource you in making you an efficient and effective leader. I'll see you in the next video.